Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing.
And I'm Bobby Metcalf.
And he is our newest team member here at Quilt Addicts Anonymous, and you have zero quilting background.
Absolutely none.
None whatsoever. So we brought him on. We all used to work together at the newspaper.
I worked with your husband for 5-6 years.
Yeah. So we brought him on to help us with some of the content that we create for you guys. But once you got here, you decided you would like to understand the quilting.
Well, I figured if I'm going to be involved with the business, I need to know as much about the business as possible, and that includes knowing how to quilt, knowing what goes into quilting, and all of that. If I'm really going to be a part of this business.
So far, Bobby has made one table runner. We finished it up in true quilter fashion about 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, probably took me about 2 weeks, start to finish, and it looked. But I like the way it turned out. 2 days before Christmas for a gift, and in the middle of the snow, and finished it at your house.
At my dining room table, yep. So that was the Charm Pack Table Runner, and you came up with the idea for today's video.
Yeah, going through all your patterns, and you've got a lot of them, obviously, and going through the fabric, and there's so many patterns that stand out to me as wow, that'd be really cool to do something with, but we don't have the fabric for it anymore. And so I was thinking, okay, so if I'm a quilter, beginner or experienced, and I see a pattern I like, how do I match that to fabric that I like that's not in that line, or fabric that I have in my stash, and vice versa.
So for this next part of the video, Bobby has picked Ultraviolet, your favorite.
Nothing I can do with, but
yeah. So it doesn't matter because we're not actually going to make it. We're going to do the fabric pull. So you want it to look as close to this as it is currently, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we need 15 vac quarters in a scale from light to dark, and you want to do it with kind of that rainbow look to it.
It doesn't have to necessarily be with the rainbow look, but I mean, definitely I like the blacks. And
you like the blacks?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's kind of fun about the original for this one is it's Allison Glass. The collection's not available anymore, but there are some prints that are like white with rainbow, and then there are some prints that are just like truly black. So basically what we're looking for here are some really light ones, and then also kind of ones that will have just that white background with rainbow to it. So let's take a look and see what we got. Let's start with black. I feel like that's going to be the easiest one because it's either white or black. We pulled, by the way, every single remnant we have out right now to work with. So we're going to take a peek at that. This is grayscale. That's a possibility. Also a possibility. I'm going to stay away from these, our latest one from our stash with Stephanie, because they definitely have that brown undertone to them. And these are more clear, like there's some beige in there, but it's just a different kind of it. I feel like, although now that I've said that, I feel like that one could be in there, but the rest of them I'm going to leave be. What else do we got? We got some Cafe. That's possible.
Got some of these plaster of Parises.
This could maybe work. Yeah, that's a good one. Sometimes you just want to pull more than what you think, because things will come out to you and be like, no, that's definitely not going to work. So I think we pulled all the grayscales that we have. So we have 13. We're definitely going to need more, but I think we pulled everything that's like grayscale or has any type of gray black in it. Now let's find some that look more rainbow. I'm thinking these probably. It's like if you grab a bunch from a line, like that totally can work sometimes. At this point, we're mostly looking for like really bright fabrics.
We got a spectrum batik in here.
Most people don't mix batik with others.
They don't? Okay.
Some people are like really adhere to that, and other people are like, whatever, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. But that's totally up to you. Well, there are people who like to have rules.
Rules are meant to be broken.
So. I would agree. At this point, I've not made a quilt like this in a really long time. So the way that I used to quilt when I was not running a business is I would have a project in mind, like Wildflower Meadow came to be because I collected a lot of Eastern inspired fabrics, all in greens and purples, and then I would just decide, okay, what am I going to do with this? And that's an example of one where I used kind of a medium scale background so that it didn't have to be white. All right, so what I would do here, because the idea is to kind of capture that black and white rainbow, right?
Right.
So what I would do at this point is let's separate them all by like black, white, gray, and then the colors. Because then we can put it in one big like rainbow pile and then just start pulling.
Okay.
and adding back as needed. So let's just start creating some piles. And I do kind of try to arrange it a little bit as I go from light to dark, just because I feel like that makes it a little easier when you get into it later. This is where it gets tricky because these have like some gray brown, like the grayish, like the typical grayish. Same with this one. But like this is a very clear gray. And so you kind of have to decide what do we want to do here. This is plain white, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. So we have red, orange, yellow. We have no green, blue, purple, pink, our black, and then our white and black. So that's a pile. Okay, so do we want this to look more clear, or do we want to go with some of the dirtier colors?
What do you think looks better?
I would say clear. I think the majority of the fabrics we have here are clear.
Okay.
So I think we can pull ones that are more the muddy. So this is gonna go out.
Okay.
This one can maybe stay. This would go, because this one is more like, it's just not as bright as when you put it next to one of those. This could really go either way. This one I'm gonna pull because it's not as clear as the others. So that's the first pick down. So we now gotten down to only the clear colors left. So at this point, I feel like the best thing to do would be to remove things that are kind of might be weird looking or not fit the theme as far as the motifs. These are going to be 2-inch finished diamonds. So anything that is larger than that, you might not be able to tell what it is when it gets pulled in. Honestly, I feel like these can go too, because I feel like all of these serve the purpose of creating those darker ones at the end. So I think those can go. I think this is an example of one that we might not want to have in, because one, depending on where it's cut, we might see more white and yellow than pink, so that can go. Let's pull that. This is another one that, depending on where it's cut, might look weird. So let's go ahead and pull that out. So now we have a more clear transition. Let's see where we're at. 19. Do we want to pull the mushrooms?
I like the mushrooms.
You like the mushrooms?
I would pull and I know this is weird, but I would pull the rainbows because I know it's cave. But
it is cave. I think you need more darker ones though, because we're going to need to fill out all of these outsides, and part of what makes that cool is the fact that they are dark. So I would keep all of these. Okay. I would pull from here. Like we have a lot of yellow. We have 4 yellows. We probably don't need 4 yellows. So which of the yellows would you want to pull?
I would pull was it the rainbows?
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. And I would pull 1 blue. We have a lot of blue.
I would pull, well, those two are pretty similar.
Honestly, we could pull another yellow, because yellow is a very, like, you don't need a lot of it color. It's the pop color.
And then I would pull this one.
Okay. That's a good choice, I think. Okay, we need to take 2 more. I think you're good on these. I think we have the hot colors will really stand out. I honestly feel like this one looks out of place now.
Yes, I do.
So that's looking better. I would go, because both of these also have blue in them, I would take a blue out of here. And then I think it will have a pretty good look to it.
Now, would you take out one of these two because they look so similar, or would you take this one out because it looks so different?
I'm looking more of it at color. At this point, besides these, which are bright rainbow, that are going to be kind of our impact ones on the outside, pretty much what we have left here are blender or blender-like fabrics, where from a distance they're going to read like one color. So to me, these two read as the same color from a distance. So I would get rid of one of these.
Okay.
So let's take a look and see what else we have, because we have used a couple of the same collections here. I'm trying to see if we have one other glisten in there.
We've got a couple of Vibrant Lives and 3 Vibrant Lives.
Well, we have a couple of Vibrant Lives, but I don't think we have this print. So you could, really either one of them could go.
Well, let's get rid of the glisten.
Okay. Now, do we like that better, or would we rather replace the circles? Because there's nothing wrong with having the same color value in there too.
Well, let's see it without the circles.
Because that one was standing out to me once we pulled it.
I like that better.
You like that better?
I like that better.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Really, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
It is,
Just the way your eye, what you personally prefer.
And I would also then now put that there because that's very purple. And then we're going into more of the colors. And then this could be like your point on the end.
I like that.
I think this is a really good selection of fabrics for that pull. So that's kind of harder to do. I mean, you could do it online. You could add all of that to your cart and then start pulling things out until, you know, you have something that looks visually good. I've done that with like buying stock yarn lately. Like when I'm trying to find colors that'll look good together for color work, because I'm trying to try new techniques, the way you're trying to try new techniques with quilting. But, you know, this is the final. I hope that's helpful for you guys. You know, be able to go across, I really love this pattern. How do I pick fabric to make it look like the original when it doesn't exist anymore? Like that, this Allison Glass fabric, you cannot get any. Allison Glass has lots of fabric that she comes out with all the time, but this particular one is gone.
And there are some designers, as I've noticed, who do similarly looking lines when they come out.
They like to have like a color story that kind of ties back into their previous collections, so that way you can use everything together in a quilt. Someday I will have a Tula quilt that has it all.
It's gonna be what, like a...
Someday. It's gonna be, it might like cover my entire house.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I know there are some people, Mary Air Shipper is one of them, who, you know, she would never want to make a quilt out of just one fabric collection. That's just not her jam. She's going to go to her fabric stash and she's going to do a pull like this. So that's 9 different fabric collections, 15 total. That's a pretty good pull. This is a scrappy quilt if I've ever seen one. So that'll be good.
All right.
All right. Well, I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for Bobby for suggesting the great idea.
Well, thanks for inviting me to put my ugly mug on camera.
Oh, whatever. All right, until next time, happy quilting.
Are these all fat quarters, just out of curiosity?
Yes.
Okay.
This just in, Bobby's claiming all those. Sorry, you'll have to do your own fabric pull.